Hey my glam girls, welcome back to my channel. This is Chelsea, where we talk about all things glam and all things girly. So today we have a powder standoff. We are comparing the new Tatcha, this is the Silk Powder, against the new Kosas, this is the Cloud Set Bait Setting and Smoothing Powder. So we will be doing a full day wear test comparing these two powders, seeing how long they last on the skin, how they look on the skin, and ultimately how they wear on the skin. So stay tuned for all of that. Thank you so much for clicking on my video and spending some time with me. If you are not yet subscribed to my channel, I'd love for you to consider subscribing and joining the Glam Girl Squad. And let's just get right into this video. So like I said, this is the Tatcha, the Silk Powder Protective Setting Powder. It does retail for $48 and it only comes in one shade. And we get 0.7 ounces or 20 grams of product. I really like the packaging on this powder, so I'm hoping that I can show you this without spilling it. But the sifter is right here in the middle, but it allows for only a little bit of powder to come out so you don't have a whole mess of powder. When you look at the actual color of the powder, it is quite yellow in color, but I can tell it's a powder that is supposed to work for a plethora of complexions. Some highlights of the powder: it is, of course, a clean brand at Sephora. It's good for pores. It leaves a radiant finish on the skin. It has sustainable packaging. It's good for anti-aging, and it's best for oily combination and normal skin. So it doesn't say that it's good for dry skin, and I do have some thoughts on that, so stay tuned for that. It is also a protective, talc-free setting powder that blurs pores, shields from pollution and blue light, and provides a translucent, soft, radiant finish. So I've been using this powder, I want to say, for a good solid week, maybe even about a week and a half. And I definitely do not think this is a powder for dry skin. I think it is definitely a little more mattifying than it is in terms of leaving a more like radiant finish on the skin. I know that is one of the claims of the powder, but I don't think it leaves a radiant finish. It definitely is not like an overly mattifying dry finish, but I do feel like if you have like really dry skin, or you just do not want to enhance any of your dry skin, this powder may not be your favorite. That's what I'll say. However, I definitely see if you have more normal skin, I tend to have more normal skin. I definitely see someone with normal skin, oily skin, or combination oily really enjoying this powder because it does have a little bit more of a mattifying effect on the skin. Just to show you what it looks like swatched on the skin, like I said, it is a translucent powder, but it definitely has a yellow tone to it. I do feel like the yellow tone to it is quite prevalent because I've used it with multiple foundations, multiple concealers, and depending on the foundation concealer combination, sometimes I feel like it's a little too bright under the eye, or maybe just a little too yellow under the eye. So I like it, but then I'm kind of like, I don't like it in that picture. Okay, it looks nice in that picture. Oh, I don't like it in that picture. I haven't figured out the combination of foundation concealer yet that makes me like it / not like it, but I am wearing it obviously on this side of the face. And right now I went in with the Clinique Even Better foundation, and I'm wearing the YSL Touche Éclat Radiant Concealer Pen, and it looks nice. And I'll also show a picture of what it looks like in flash photography so you can see what it looks like. Moving on to the Kosas, this is the Cloud Set Bait Setting and Smoothing Talc-Free Vegan Powder. So we are looking at two talc-free vegan powders. This is in the shade Pillowy, and it retails for $34. We get a total of 0.33 ounces or 9.5 grams of product. So we get more product in the Tatcha powder, less product in this Kosas powder. There is a slight price difference there though. So that's that. Versus with the Tatcha powder, we only have one shade. With this Kosas powder, we have a total of 10 shades. And looking at the shade range, I'm like, okay, Kosas, I see what y'all were doing. We have some definitely fair, almost translucent like shades. We've got some good medium tone shades, and then some very deep, rich chocolate shades within this particular powder. So I am happy to see that. Some highlights of the powder. It is going to be another clean brand at Sephora, good for pores, best for oily combination and normal skin, vegan, there's a natural finish, and it's formulated without silicones. With both of these powders, there's no fragrance at all either. I forgot to mention that with Tatcha, but there is no fragrance. This is described as a super soft sheer setting and smoothing powder baked with skincare that sweeps away shine, but not your glow, and it feels like nothing but looks like everything on the skin. Now, this is my first time wearing this powder, but let me tell y'all something. She's left an impression on me. So here is the Kosas powder, and I shade-wise like this powder better than the Tatcha one. Like I said, granted, I haven't worn the Kosas one multiple times like I have the Tatcha one, but I also don't like a very stark, bright under eye. And so I can already tell that since this powder looks much more close to my skin tone, I'm not gonna get that stark under eye look like I could with the Tatcha one. If you look very, very closely, and I don't think you'll be able to see it up close, but if you look very closely, this Kosas powder also has like the slightest hint of shimmer. And when I saw it in store, I was like, okay, how is this gonna look under my eyes? Because I knew I wanted to use this powder under my T-zone as well as all over the face. But I really wanted to use it under my eye and in my T-zone. And so I put it on the face, y'all. And if I move my hair right here, this glow is coming from the powder. I did not put on any highlight today. I do not have on any type of illuminator under my foundation. The primer that I'm wearing today is more of a mattifying primer. The glow that you see is from the powder, and I am here for it, y'all. Okay, yes, this is a first impression, but your girl cannot deny what we're seeing. I've had both of these powders on for at least about 2 hours, and I am gonna do a full day wear test so we can see what the powders are doing and how they're holding up at the end of the day. But if I come in a little closer, what I noticed, and this was right away after applying both powders, the Tatcha side looks more dry, like right along here, and I'm hoping you all can see that. Look how smooth this Kosas powder looks. I mean, just like baby's butt smooth. Okay, maybe not baby's butt smooth, but the under eye area right here looks so much more smooth than right here on the Tatcha side. And even though for the Kosas powder, it doesn't say that it is formulated for dry skin, I do think the smoothness of the Kosas side would make it a little more dry skin friendly, especially because it leaves just a hint of a glow on the skin. So I put concealer on. I feel like both powders set my concealer, but even looking at my skin from afar, you can tell that the Tatcha side just looks a little less flawless than this Kosas side. It looks a little more smooth and just almost like plumper. Like I'm looking at the high points of my cheeks and I'm like, blurred, not blurred, even though this is supposed to blur. This one is blurred. Y'all, I am totally blown away. I'm just blown away. I can't say anything else, but I am blown away by this powder already. Now, we do have to wait till the end of the day, obviously, but just from what I'm noticing, Kosas is winning as of right now. I did do flash photography because I did want to see if there was any flashback with either powders, and there isn't any flashback with either powders. But you do kind of see a difference in the color tone between the two powders within the picture that I showed. I do feel like both are okay with the flash, but like I said, color-wise, I just like this color better because it's not as bright under the eye. So I'm going to go about my day, and we're going to wear this for at least about 8 hours, and then I'll check back in at the end of the day to share with you my final thoughts. So stay tuned. Okay guys, we are back. It is the end of the day. It has been 8 hours and I want to see what these powders are looking like. Coming in close, I still feel like the Tatcha side looks less smooth in this area than the Kosas side. I do feel like both powders did hold and set my concealer pretty well. And I feel like around my nose, I have pretty much the same amount of dew. So I do feel like both powders do work well to set the makeup and also to hold the makeup. My preference though is still gonna be Kosas, simply because this area is just so much more blurred. And I'm hoping you all can see that on camera. I can definitely see it a lot. And like I mentioned earlier, I love that I have this little bit of radiance with the Kosas powder versus the Tatcha powder. I think the Tatcha powder is a good powder, and I also think it definitely has a place in your collection. It just depends on what you want. So I would recommend the Tatcha powder for someone who does have more combination oily skin, or for someone who really wants a more, if I could say, mattified look without having any like glow or shimmer. I would say for people who have drier skin types, normal, combination oily, if you don't mind having just a little bit of radiance with your powder on your face, then I would say that this powder probably can work for all skin types, whereas I would reserve the Tatcha powder for normal, combination oily. I don't know about dry. If you have dry skin and you really like the Tatcha powder, leave it down below. For me, and this is something I've noticed just through wearing the Tatcha powder more often, I've noticed that at the end of the day, and I can see it right here, and hopefully you all can see it, I've noticed that my concealer will, kind of break up at the end of the day, and the Tatcha powder doesn't hold it as long. If you look at the Kosas side, you don't see the concealer separating and breaking down. I really do feel like the Kosas powder really does help to lock whatever liquid product you have in place and hold them there, all while blurring the skin and just making everything look really perfected. I'm so blown away by this powder. Yeah, so I mean, I feel like the results are quite clear and quite evident. You guys let me know what you see, which side you think is better, which side you would prefer, and if you tried both of these powders or one of these powders, leave your comments down below. Tell us your skin type and how either powder is working for you, because I'd love to know, and it would also be helpful for other people. And if you've made it to this point in the video and you have not yet subscribed to my channel, definitely consider subscribing. We'd love to have you join the Glam Girls squad. And guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in my very next video. Bye guys.